are going to be learning about the seasons. Now, let me just jog your memory before we start learning. So as a quick review, there are 4 seasons. We have, everyone say them with me if you remember, spring, summer, fall, and winter. So today we're going to be talking about all 4 of them. The holidays that come up through them, what dates they go through, kind of the weather that we see during them, and everything like that. So this is going to be a really exciting video, and I'm so excited to see you all here. Before we get started though, don't go too fast, we got to remember our 2 watching rules. So whenever we're watching a video, but especially little learners with Miss Mulvey, we have to be quiet, respectful, responsible. We want to have our listening ears on, and we want our mouths off. We also want to follow anything that I say. So if I say give me a thumbs up, give me a thumbs down, raise your hand, do anything like that, I want you to be doing that unless told otherwise. Because that is why these videos are so great, and that's why you're going to enjoy them. So let's get into it. So today we're going to be learning about those 4 seasons that we've already kind of talked about. We know how to count to 4, so everyone count to 4 with me just to do a quick number practice because we can never have too much math in our lives. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there are 4 seasons. And who remembers them again? We just went over them, so let's say them all together. Ready? Whoever knows them, shout them as loud as possible. And if you're not totally sure, just follow everyone else because you are going to know them by the end of this. Ready? We have spring. We have summer. We have fall. And we have winter. So those are our holidays. Those are our seasons. And during all 4 of those seasons, we have holidays and things that pop up. And we're going to talk about all that. We're going to talk about the weather, anything like that that kind of comes up during these times and kind of what we can think about to remind us about them. So let's get started. We're going to start off today's lesson always with spring because spring starts off those 4 seasons. So spring goes on through March 20th to June 21st. It's the season between winter and summer. In the beginning, it can be a bit cold, and as it goes on slowly, it gets warmer and warmer. Typically during spring, we see a lot of rain. If you remember our saying about April showers bring May flowers, and April is right during spring. So during springtime, we see a lot of flowers coming up. We see those leaves growing back after winter where they fall down and fall, and we kind of see the liveliness of everything kind of coming back to life. Typically this starts around late April, May, June. We kind of see this all come together. During spring it can rain a lot of time, but also a lot of the time it is sunny because that is what we need for plant life. Now we are going to be doing a lot of units about plants this year, and I'm so excited to have you guys come along with me, but this is super duper awesome. So you can kind of see all the plants in this village or this little foresty area here that we can see, and they all look so beautiful. Typically when we think flowers, we think of lilacs, roses, everything, all those beautiful flowers just like that. And I want you to think of that when we look at this photo. So when we kind of think of spring, it starts off really cold because it's kind of that end of winter. Kind of March is still like that wintry weather. We get a lot of snow during March and we're really cold. But then it starts to get warmer and nice out. And by the time we hit that summer date and June 21st comes around, because that's our first day of summer, our last day of spring, we kind of are like, hey, I can wear a tank top. Hey, this is nice and warm out. This is the kind of weather I like. So even when we get out of school in summertime and everything like that happens, it's not officially summer according to the seasons. Now, a quick tidbit about the seasons is the seasons don't go by if it's cold out or if it's warm out or anything like that. Because when we think of summer, we think, oh, it starts to get warm, I get out of school, but that's not how our Earth works. Earth doesn't have a mind like us. So the Earth moves by the sun, and we're going to learn all about the solar system also this year in science. So when it moves around the sun, that is kind of how our seasons change. And I'm thinking that most of you all are from the USA right now. We're kind of on that side or anywhere like that. But if you live in Australia or something like that, your seasons are swip-swapped. So when we're in summer, you're in winter. When we're in spring, you're in fall, and opposite. So when we're in winter, you're in summer. When we're in fall, you're in spring. Just because our seasons are a little bit different than us. And that's just how it works, because the Earth is on its own schedule, not our schedule. Springtime is really beautiful, and again, we see that liveliness come back to Earth. Now into summer. So when we think of summer, it's kind of like, oh, spring is getting pushed away. Now I'm getting out of school. It's really beautiful. It's really nice. Ooh, this is so good. I love it. The sun is out. I'm at the beach. You can go on your boogie boards. You can have water balloon fights. You can run in your sprinklers, do all the fun stuff like that. And summer is pretty great. We're off of school for most of it, and it's pretty amazing. And we probably think, oh, summer runs at the end of September, like the beginning of September, late August, like when I go back to school, mental clock, now it's fall. Little do you know that summer goes on between June 21st and September 22nd. This is the season between spring and fall. Typically, it's really warm in the beginning, and as it goes on into August and September, it slowly gets a bit colder. Into kind of that weather where you may need a light jacket, a jean jacket, a sweatshirt, something to keep you a bit warmer. But in the beginning of summer, it's bathing suit weather. You're jumping into pools. You're having a great time. But again, like we talked about with spring, the Earth doesn't move on our clock. It moves on its Earth clock. And summertime doesn't, like when we think of September, we think of fall, back to school. Just like when we look at fall, I think it'll be really surprising when fall ends, because we don't really think of fall to end right there. So when we think of summertime, we think of this beautiful sun, we think of something like that. And I especially love this photo because I think it describes summer pretty well. So now let's look at fall. When we see fall, we think of these beautiful colors and that kind of that end of the year sort of vibe. Oh, we're getting into winter, it's going to be really cold, it's going to be, oh, I'm not going to want it. So let's kind of read about fall. Fall goes on from September 22nd to December 21st. Can you guys believe that? When we think of December, I think of Christmas, winter, all of that. I don't think of still being in fall until December 21st. This is the season between summer and winter. Typically it has a mild temperature through October, and from there on it gets colder and colder. So what do you guys think I mean by a mild temperature? Well, I kind of mean like these nice little ladies here. If you can see my picture really well, these ladies have on some jackets, some pants, some boots, but it's not snowy or anything like that. It's kind of just like a nice outfit to be bundled up in. We think of fall, we think of the leaves falling, maybe Thanksgiving, back to school. October, we may think of trick-or-treating, Halloween, all that fun stuff. And we definitely kind of think of this sort of idea. Pumpkin picking, apple picking, all that fun stuff. And I especially love this picture because it reminds me of one of my favorite things to do in fall. Walk in that nice kind of cold, breezy weather. During fall, we see kind of that breeze start to come in a bit more, and we aren't really hanging out at the beach anymore. We're kind of back in school, sadly, and we're kind of more enjoying ourselves, kind of doing things like this, and it starts to get darker out a little bit earlier, and everything kind of starts to creep in and get prepared for winter. Think of fall and spring as transition periods. We have summer as a big one. We have winter as a big one. Then we have fall and we have spring. And they're kind of pushing their way into each area. They're saying, oh, okay, it's March. So if you're spring, you're like, oh, okay, it's March, I'm a little colder, pushing my way into winter. Then you kind of have your own time where you're like, oh, I'm growing flowers, I'm spring. And then you push into summer and everyone thinks it's summer, but hey, you're still spring. And then summer has her chance to be big and bright and beautiful and doesn't really get pushed away. And then fall pokes its head out and it weasels itself a little bit into summer, weasels itself a little bit into winter, and then kind of pops its head out and be like, hey, I'm fall. And then winter has its moment, and everyone's like, I hate winter, I don't want winter, bye winter, I want summer, everything like that. So think of fall and spring as those transition periods, and summer and winter as those, hey, I'm here. It's kind of that big transition of weather and a big transition of kind of what it seems like. Now on to the last place we're going to be, winter. So when we think of winter, we kind of think of snow. We think of cold weather, maybe building a snowman, Christmas time, all those amazing things that are just so great to happen during winter. So let's talk a bit about winter up here in our Talk About area. Winter goes on from December 21st to March 20th. And to me, that's not really a big surprise from where I'm from. I'm from the East Coast, so it's kind of, these seasons are a bit more true. We don't really have spring. We don't really have a complete fall. We really just have those, hey, I'm summer, hey, I'm winter, and the winter's really big and important and beautiful. But in other places like Florida, you kind of only have like a spring, a fall, and a summer. You don't really see that snow and everything during winter time. So this is kind of just the generic idea of winter. So winter goes on from December 21st to March 20th. This is the season between fall and spring. Typically it's very cold the whole time, and this is the season where we see snow, sleet, and ice. So have you guys ever walked out, maybe you're on your way to school, or maybe you got a snow day, and you're walking up to your parents' car to get in, and all of a sudden their whole car is covered in ice, or your windows are covered in ice, or frost, and all those things? That is ice, and that is a good sign of winter. So wintertime really seems like this to me, this beautiful picture that we see. We see the snow. We see no leaves on the trees except those beautiful Christmas evergreen trees that we of course love, and they're kind of covered beautifully, just like if you put powdered sugar on them. And it's absolutely amazing. Wintertime is kind of that time where we kind of stay in our houses. We eat a lot of soup, we drink a lot of hot cocoa, we really enjoy ourselves kind of being cozy, unlike our favorite time of summer where we're enjoying the beach and we spend a lot of time outside. We spend a lot, I would say fall is kind of that mid area. You spend some time outside, some time inside as it starts to transition. And then in spring, it's kind of the same idea. You spend a little bit inside, a little bit outside, and it's kind of as it starts to transition. But when we think of summer, we think of going outside to the beach and everything like that. When we think of winter, we kind of think of staying inside, being warm. Oh, it's cold out. I'm going to turn on my fireplace. I'm going to hear the crackles. Kind of what winter and Christmas kind of embodies itself as. Because when we think of winter, Lisa, I think of Christmas. Kind of the beautiful evergreen trees, the snow, everything like that. You're going to build a snowman, have your hot cocoa by the fire, and just enjoy yourself. Inside and a little bit outside. Okay, so that was our whole lesson on the seasons. I hope you enjoyed and I hope you learned a lot. Before we end it off, of course we have to end it off in a quick song, a quick reminder. So let's go through it. So to quickly remind ourselves of the 4 seasons, and you guys are going to be repeating this during your morning meeting or morning time for the next few days. You're going to start off by going, spring! That's what we sing. We sing for spring, when flowers bloom. Okay, repeat it with me. Spring, we sing for spring. Spring is when the flowers bloom. Great job. And then we have summer. We sing for summer. Summer is when we go to the beach. Okay, let's do it together now. Summer, we sing for summer. Summer is when we go to the beach. Okay, and then we have fall. We sing for fall. Fall is when the leaves fall down from the trees. Okay, let's do it together, everyone. Fall. We sing for fall. Fall is when the leaves fall down from the trees. And then, last but not least, we have winter. Okay, let's do it together. let's do it together. Winter, we sing for winter. Winter is when we build snowmen. Okay, guys, that was an absolutely awesome lesson. I'm so excited I got to enjoy it with all of you guys. Make sure to stay tuned for a bunch more fun lessons just like this one coming very, very soon. Okay, I love you all. Little learners, out.